And so that's when I utilize what I am good at, which is anything physical. And I start hitting and I'm like, there it is.
My first question for you guys is that, Dom, you talked about being a Leo. Rich, what is your sign? And do you know how that came into play with your dynamic in the show?
Gemini.
He's a Gemini. And me being a Leo, that's fire. And he's air. And actually, it's perfect in our dynamic. We're actually very much matched because what does air do to fire?
Very true. Very true.
So it works really well for us, and my fire ignites him and his air expands my fire.
Yes, totally. And I'm very much the calming force, and she is the life of the party.
I do think, though, you guys took turns having a freak out and like being the other person calming the other person down. The first time we saw one of you guys meditate was with you, Dom, and I totally forgot what I was like rewatching. Like, Rich, you did it too, and I was like, they're perfect together.
Yeah, we love to meditate, Nicole. Like, it's something that really grounds us in our lives. We like to spend time together, spiritually grounding. And for us, that's why we were Team Love and Light, because we really believe and can see that our world needs more love and unity and less division. And so we wanted to share that not only with the world and with our fellow cast members, but to enjoy that together. And for us, it's that meditation and sending out that love that really activates our spirits.
And we get to love. All of us humans, everyone watching this right now, you get to love. We get to love. We all get to love each other.
Love, yes.
Our world needs it.
Yes.
Did you guys talk in preparation of the season of what your coping mechanisms would be? Like, did you guys already have a plan? Like, if we need to meditate, do it? Or is that it just came naturally on the fly of like, this is how we're going to cope?
Yeah, I think it came very natural to us because it's naturally who we are. Like, literally, I'm in the wellness space. So that's what I do. I help people to cope, honestly, in life. So it was a very natural thing. And we did talk about on the show, though, just being supportive to one another, you know, making sure that we were lights to each other and we were building each other up, even when it would get difficult, because we knew it would, to fight through that together.
Right. And I think The Amazing Race was such a powerful and perfect example and tool for couples like us to grow our communication, our patience, our compassion. And I think it's a great analogy of life.
It really is. It really is.
Dom, you did start the season doing some more self-talk and focusing on your breath. That was like literally the first time we saw you guys in the car. Did you still do that in Florence, or by that time you were so frazzled, most of that was going out the window?
No, actually, I definitely continued to do that. In Florence, I mean, you guys saw me really going through a lot doing the sculpture. And during that sculpture, I was actually processing through a lot because a lot of people didn't know that my grandmother was ill when I was on the show. And so I was processing through her, and also this Michelangelo, thinking that I literally genuinely thought, I was like, oh my gosh, like they want me to make God. Like, and I'm looking and I'm thinking, you know, I was trying to be a realist. Like, okay, this is not my forte, you know, but as I worked through it, Nicole, I realized that Michelangelo that I was trying to carve out and its imperfection that I was trying to correct, for me, were a reflection of my life and what I've been through, because I've been through a great deal growing up. And it helped me to realize to love myself and to even love this sculpture right in the middle of struggling with it to get through it. So being motivational speakers, it's not about being perfect. It's not about not having any vulnerabilities or flaws. In fact, it's about sharing the world with, we're all in this together. We're going to go through pain, but it's about pushing through that pain as one.
To be fair, I think us viewers also thought you guys were supposed to create it from scratch and also had like the same panic. And then we learned what the roles were. And also, to be fair, you literally asked Michelle, like, are we supposed to do this? Like, are we sculpting? She wrongly tells you you're creating the statue, which then sent you on a spiral. How long did it take?
I told you. Good one, Michelle. Good one.
Nicole, you're very quick. You caught that. Okay.
How long did it take for you to figure out that she was wrong and you were able to?
Right, because if you notice, because and they caught it and they showed it on camera that I realized after, that's like read the clue. They always tell us read the clue. I realized it said sculpt out. And that was the key word in the clue, was those little words. It was sculpt out. And I'm like, oh, it's in here. I have to really hammer at this thing. And so that's when I utilize what I am good at, which is anything physical. And I start hitting and I'm like, there it is. So I did realize though, because that was a stressful, it was a mega leg. Everyone was so stressful. Nobody really probably wanted to give anyone a leg up at that point. You know what I mean? So I understand it,
Are you glad you didn't take the penalty? Because you look like you were seriously considering it.
Yeah, I'm very glad I did it. And go ahead.
We're not going to let that happen.
He wasn't going to let me have it. Take that,
as much as she wants to, I was like, do for another 15 minutes. I'm like, and then do it for another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then do it for another 15 minutes.
And I genuinely didn't want to take it because I didn't want us to get out. But in my head, I'm just trying to figure out the most expeditious way to move forward. But I didn't want to take that penalty. And he let me know, honey, that will put us out for sure. So I'm glad I didn't take it. I'm glad we pushed forward. Yeah.
Yeah. You weren't the only one who was like mentally and physically struggling in this episode. We saw Sharik motivation drop fast after the sculpture. Oh. Is there anything you wish you could have told her for her to get her motivation back?
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that, Nicole. Bless you. First off, I love Team Jamaica. I love Sharik and Linton, her father. It's a very personal thing for me to see I didn't grow up with my father. Mm. So seeing a beautiful, Black queen and her father, and together, it warmed my heart. And they were literally just so special to me. And if I could have seen her again, I would have told her, girl, come on. We got this together. We cannot let this get the best of us. We are here because we are here with purpose and intention. We can do this. So if she sees this, I love her so much. And she still pushed through, and I'm very proud of her though.
And I must say, being with a Black queen, it's emotional journey, and being able to relate with other people and their struggles is so real, and it's a beautiful thing. And some people might not understand the struggles, such as what Sharik was going through. And, lots of love to both Linton and Sharik. And it's real. Everyone is on their own personal journey. And you probably saw that from ours. And that's one thing we're proud of. People say, oh, you're motivational speakers. Shouldn't you be all motivated and stuff? We're human beings.
Right.
We're human beings with our challenges. And we're here to be human, to grow ourselves. And we're so honored that we got to see that with all the cast members, for us going through all of our journeys together.
And to embrace the mess. We all embrace our mess, and let's love each other through it all. Yeah. And not judge.
Yeah. I think this episode only showed it gets harder with time, at the end, Sharik was literally like, I just need to go to bed. And I was like, I feel that maybe next time she's going to feel better. But if she did choose to quit, that means you probably could have stayed. But do you think you would have been happy or stressed out of we have to keep going? Because I think you even see that with Sharik when she decides to stay. It's like,
right.
Okay, it's going to be another day. How do you think you would have felt if you were given that opportunity? Right.
Well, it's interesting watching it back last night. We actually had no clue that they were even considering that. When she was on the mat with Phil, I was like, oh, OMG, she would have, considered that. I would have been, and I thought to myself, how would I have felt if I would have gone there? He would have said, oh, you can stay because this team quit. I would have literally said, no, really? She quit? No. Are you kidding me? It would have hit me hard because I don't want anyone to leave, it's a journey together. I don't want that. But I would have continued happily forward, of course, because I love The Amazing Race. We are fans of the show, and we truly believe that to stay on that race, if you allow it to, it'll continue to teach you so much about yourself in life.
And that's what it was about. And we've been talking, every single leg is a huge blessing.
Yes.
Every single leg was an offering for us to learn, grow our relationship, grow ourselves. And that was what really that was the prize.
Yeah.
Along with the traveling.
And it solidified us so strongly that he proposed later after. So.
Oh, can you tell me a little bit about the proposal?
Yeah, so he took me to one of our first places, a beautiful restaurant that we went to. It was a rooftop. We were there. He surprised me because it was my birthday month. I'm a Leo, so it's my birthday month. So it's not my birthday day. It's like every weekend.
Of course.
So I thought he was just getting roses and wine for my birthday. And he really set it all up and he proposed to me. And here's an interesting point, Nicole, is that I don't believe in just the woman wearing rings because it actually comes from an ancient, archaic, patriarchal system where the man shows dominance over the woman. And I'm like, why are we still doing that? Like, and the man's not, that's just kind of crazy. And he agreed. So I said, if you ever propose, I want us both to have engagement rings. And I said, I want it to be a stone. So he actually got jade and he cut it.
Oh, that's pretty.
And got them cut from the same stone.
Oh, very nice. Did you know going in that you were going to propose at the end of this, Rich?
The main thing was finding when the time was right. So we definitely had ideas, feelers out there, and I was just waiting for the right moment. And that was the right moment.
Nice. It was your third anniversary, and I'm sure there's so many emotions having tied to that experience with your third anniversary. But what would you say was the highlight, since we could probably see what was the low light?
It's funny when you talk about the highlight and low light, because I feel like the highlight and low light were kind of both together.
For us, yeah.
For me personally, the highlight for me was the sculpting. Why? Because it was such a powerful journey. Being able to watch you have a challenge that feels impossible to do, because in life, sometimes we feel that way. Like there's no way I can do this. There's no way I can be on an amazing race. There's no way I can sculpt this. There's no way I can, achieve this goal. But when you put your mind to it, when you don't let yourself give up, you can accomplish anything.
And I feel for me as well, the highlight was being in these amazing, of course, scenic places and being with him, knowing that he's with me every step of the way, Nicole, that he believes in me, that he loves me, that no matter what, we're going to get through this together. And I think when we were driving and we had those times to talk and just express ourselves to one another and connect, I really loved those moments so much.
Beautiful. Looking back, because I think the sculpture, I don't know how you would actually rank it in being hard. Like, obviously it looked like it was the hardest, but like I said, so many factors. You didn't know the rules at first, and it's close to the last of your experience. What would you say now is actually the hardest challenge you went through?
Now looking back, the sculpting, had I known going in, it wouldn't have been that hard. So I would say the sculpting wasn't the hardest. From that mega leg, honestly, in my opinion, it was the final detour that we end up getting last on, which was the, Florence, the fashion, because we had to go. And honestly, if you didn't have a really wonderful photographic memory, then it really, really would trip you up, because you would keep messing up and getting it wrong and constantly having to repeat that, as you saw on camera. It's discouraging. So I think for me, that was definitely the hardest one, because the Ducati, he blasted it. The statue, we got through it. We did the Anatomico in Florence at the college. I'm an academic nerd, so we kind of got through that pretty okay. So it was definitely the fashion. And then when we had to go back, that's when we kind of took too much time.
Got it.
Yeah.
You talked about going through obstacles to find your fullest potential in the first episode. What did you two learn about yourselves while filming the show?
So I'll share that what I learned, Nicole, is that challenges in life are going to happen. And to walk through life wishing, I wish my life was better. Oh, I wish it were easier. Why do some people have it easier? We say things like that, right? Thinking that way, we shouldn't, because life is not meant to be easy. In fact, life is meant to give you challenges, because without the challenges, you cannot overcome, move forward, and progress. So for me, what I learned is not only can I do hard things, but I welcome challenges, not only in The Amazing Race, but in life, because it's setting me up for something greater. If I learn the lesson, I'm going to be better the next day after. So I took that home with me, and I take that into the rest of my life.
And for me, the message was love and light. It was the message that my baby here always preaches or talks about, love and light. And for me, why that's important is because it's a reminder to self that when we love ourselves, when we love each other, we can move forward. And also with the cast as well. Early on, when we first met each other, the entire cast, we set a precedence that, you know what, we're going to love on each other. We're going to be grateful that we're here together. We're not going to be bitter. We're not going to have drama. We're just going to love each other. And yes, we're all here together.
Yeah. And I think that really harmonized us as a cast. And certainly for us individually, we really feel that love wins. And we actually feel like we won in our way. We really feel that way. It was such a gift. So, yeah.